This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds, episode 245. We are recording on Wednesday, January 15th, 2014, halfway through January. How did that happen? I'm Edie Sellers, and with me is Holy Goalie and Nick DiCola. Shut up. Stop that.
Hey, do you realize Christmas was just 3 weeks ago, and it feels like 3 months ago?
I know.
Why does it always happen like that? Why is it always you get to mid-January and you get back to regular, world lifey things, and then all of a sudden it's like, holy cow, it's January 15th. Christmas was just 3 weeks ago.
It seems so long ago, but then Christmas seemed really long this year because it was really short. And then usually it was literally a short period of time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then all of a sudden Christmas is over. New Year's, wham, week later, and then bam, you're on it. It's just insane.
It this year, I don't know, Christmas kind of flew in and flew out for me. I don't know why. Everybody said that because Thanksgiving was late. Mm-hmm. So you didn't have that extra week. It was like Black Friday came. Next thing you know, it was December, and then you were, into the swing of things, and it was in the middle of the week. It just, I don't know, caught me by surprise this year.
Yeah, it sure did.
I didn't get to enjoy it very much. And then next thing you know, it was over. And then we got we got the blizzard, and next thing you know, it's like all the Christmas stuff's gone away, and it's 50 degrees, and all that snow that we got melted, and it's like back to normal now. And this has all happened in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, here still hasn't rained.
Oh, really?
Hasn't rained, and since we had one day it rained on the first day of winter, which was what, September? September, yeah, it was September. So we had that one day of really heavy rain, and then we had one day of kind of light rain in the beginning of December, and that's it. We have not had a single drop fall from the sky. It's getting scary here. It's getting exceptionally scary here. This could be the worst drought we've ever had. Certainly the driest winter we've ever had in history. I'm concerned that we're going to be rationing water. Oh, Nick, you're too young. And I don't know how many Californians are listening to the show. And certainly, I don't know how many Californians are listening to the show that are old enough to remember this. But the California drought in the 70s, man, that sucked. And this is worse than that drought right now. Where you had to put a brick in the tank of your toilet. Oh. Because it takes up water. It raises a water level, but it so that you don't put as much water into the back of your toilet. If it's mellow, if it's yellow, let it mellow rule. And just barely using any water, not using dishwashers. No, nobody used dishwasher. Couldn't use your dishwashers. Washing machines, barely. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, that's what, as much as it sucks over here with snow and cold and all this other stuff here, the water drought thing that the West and Southwest get, boy, I tell you, they every once in a while catch a show on TV and they're out there in the Las Vegas way, mm-hmm. and they show some of the lakes mm-hmm. that supply water to the areas, and how there was one place, I don't know where it was, it might have been Nevada or New Mexico or out that way, and there was a pier. There was a little shack, and there was a pier. Mm-hmm. And the water was 100 feet away from the pier.
Yeah. Oh.
And they said that's where, we built this pier on the water, and they had a little business going on, whatever they did. I don't know if they rented boats or canoes or whatever. And, now, right. There's the water way over there.
Yep. Can't get to it.
So it's as much as I would like to have no snow and no cold, boy, I tell you, having no water is pretty scary.
Yeah, and not meaning to make too many, to go on about drought and the weather, because we tend to we always end up talking about the weather. But here's my prediction. And mark my word, today is it. I am predicting it, and you can thank me later and tell me what a genius I am. And in probably, as long as it doesn't rain, in like June or July, there is going to be a war between Northern California and Southern California if this drought gets as bad as it's going to be.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because see, Southern California gets a lot of its water from Northern California.
Yeah, they have the mountains and stuff up there.
Right. We have all the water. They have all the houses. So they've been trying to build a canal that goes from Northern California to Southern California for years. And people are like, fuck you. No. So
where are you considered? You're kind of in the middle, right?
We're considered like the capital of Northern California.
I thought you were toward the south.
No, we're kind of considered middle, but northern in the non-official status. I mean, it's Northern California is San Francisco, Southern California is LA.
Yeah, okay. So San Francisco's kind of in the middle of California.
San Francisco is almost dead center in the middle. Yeah.
But that's considered the
Northern California. North. Yeah, that's considered north. That's considered the heart of the north.
So Southern California, it's not a 50-50 split between north and south. Southern California is like the bottom 20%.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I get it.
So, and this happened in the 70s, and it'll happen if it happens again. Ooh, it's gonna get nasty.
Tell them to get their water from Mexico.
No, they don't. Yeah, well,
down there.
Their issue is that, especially during the 70s drought, is that they didn't care that there was a drought. They just, if there was water running from their hoses, they went out there and they watered their lawns. And meanwhile, we were all living up here with, with toilet bowls full of our own urine and our dead gardens. Just nobody watered anything. And collecting, what sometimes the dew in the morning, people would go out and try and collect the dew so that they could water their gardens, or using leftover dishwashing water to water what precious plants they could. And then we'd see these pictures on the news, people down in Los Angeles just running their sprinklers or out there soaking their lawns. And we were furious. And that was in the 70s, back when we were docile.
I think it's time to turn the tables then. We'll just keep using water, we do, and we'll just cut them off. We'll turn the little, nozzle to north rather than south.
It's true. We could just suck it all up before it even gets there.
Exactly.
Kevin Bolwer says the war between California will be like California hates itself as bad as the rest of the states hate California. Yeah, it's all right. You hate us because you love us.
Because we're beautiful.
Yep, you hate us, but you want to be us. We get it. It's all right. So we are broadcasting live. I was going to do, actually, was not a mistake. I intended to record a show and post it, but Goalie said, let's go live. I like going live.
Yeah, I like having some listener interaction. You never know who's sitting around just kind of, hey, I got a break at work. Maybe I got today off, or maybe I'm sitting on the toilet doing my thing, and I want to listen to GameHounds. You just never know.
Please don't.
Oh, yeah, that's the best place to listen to GameHounds.
No, it isn't.
Listen to Nick.
Okay. I'll give you that.
I don't know. I might have to say the toilet seems like a very natural place to listen to GameHounds.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? There's certain things that I'm very guyish about. That's clearly not one of them. I would never listen to a show. It's like when I'm in the toilet, I'm there for a job.
You wouldn't listen to a podcast on the toilet?
I'm there for a business. I'm there for a job.
It's a business trip.
Exactly. I go, I get in, I leave. I check in, I check out.
I'll usually listen on a dog walk, or if I go to the gym with a treadmill.
Yeah.
Put headphones, listen to podcasts. That's a good place to listen to that.
Yes,
exactly. I try to listen at night. Usually at night I go to bed and I listen, and I fall asleep. 20 minutes in, and I wake up. Missed that again.
I listen in the car. I always check our shows just to make sure it come out right, because what we hear in our headset doesn't necessarily translate to what you guys are listening to on the podcast, so I have to check in. And
If I go on a long trip, when I do the Ratcast, if I got to drive to Long Island or Philadelphia, that's when if I'm by myself, I'll put a podcast.
Yep.
That's good time to listen to that.
Good
but
times.
Anyway, so enough with the weather, enough about us and this and that. Let's turn our attention to some video games.
Don't starve. Don't starve. Don't starve. Up to day 76.
But you just know me. You just know me. You know me more than me knows me.
Yeah, you tried it.
I tried it right before we get on the show.
You fucking hated it.
And I played about 60 seconds, and I hated it.
Told you.
You know what? You know what it was? And I was trying to pinpoint why I hated it. Do you know why I hated it? Is because I've spent so much time trying to figure out how to play games recently. It started with Grand Theft Auto 5. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had no fun trying to figure it out. And then I went to PlayStation 4 with Need for Speed, where it was like, what the hell am I doing here? I have no clue. They assume that you know how to play their game to have fun, but I spent so much time trying to figure it out, I had no fun. Then it went to Killzone. Well, what the hell am I doing in this game? And then it went to one other game, and I forget which one it was. There was like 3 or 4 games in a row that I was like, why are they assuming I'm an expert on their game? I cannot play your game because I'm too busy trying to figure out how to play your game to enjoy it.
Right.
It's like reading a book in a foreign language. Okay, I'm learning how to read this foreign language while I'm reading your book means I'm not enjoying the book because I'm too busy trying to learn the language.
Right. But
Don't Starve.
Don't Starve suffers exactly from that.
I walked around. It said, you better get something to eat. Fan-fucking-tastic. How do I do that? Really? I walk around. I try to catch a bird. Couldn't catch a bird. I'm at a tree. I'm at a plant. I'm at seeds. Delete. See you later. Let's go play something that I have some guidance and direction. I don't have the patience for that.
But now keep this in mind.
I don't need another game where someone needs to hold my hand,
right?
Whether a human or a Wikipedia or a YouTube page to play the friggin' thing.
Agreed. But keep this in mind.
Next game.
Right. I told you were going to hate it, and I don't blame you because it's exactly the kind of game you would hate. But
we're talking about Don't Starve. We are in a Don't Starve free zone right now.
No. We're going to talk about Don't Starve. Keep in mind, and broaden your mind to this idea, is that those other games that abused you in that way had no good reason to abuse you in that way. Warframe had no good reason.
Oh, yeah. Add Warframe to that list.
Right. Warframe had no good reason. Grand Theft Auto had no good reason to do that to you. Number of these games.
Don't Starve doesn't really either.
Don't Starve does, because that's kind of... You saw the beginning of the game. The guy is pulled into this alternate universe and dropped. And it says, good luck living. That's the point of the game, is that you are dropped into a land, you have no idea what to do and no idea how to survive, and you have to figure out how to survive. That's the point of the game. So, as I understand why you're frustrated. I understand why you'll never touch this game again. I said at the beginning, you're going to hate this game, don't play it. But do understand that that whole not being told what to do is part of the ethos of the game. It fits.
I
like Myst. It fits.
Yeah, Myst was another one that I was just like, oh my God. I don't know. I guess I just like to play games.
Right.
I don't like to figure out.
That's what this is. This is a figure it out game. This is a discovery game. And that's where you discover it at your peril, because your discovery can kill you. And that's the point. So Grand Theft Auto is not a discovery game. Warframe, certainly not a discovery game. Those are shooters. They're open world story games, adventure games, shooting games, shooty, drivey games. That's not a discovery game.
No, but if
this game
is a little bit of, if they ramped you up, if they said, okay, you need to go make an axe, so go over to this stick in this rock and make an axe. At least give me a couple of breadcrumbs, a couple of stepping stones.
It has the recipe.
Even Minecraft had a tutorial on consoles.
That's true. Minecraft did have a tutorial on consoles, but this is Minecraft that hates you and wants to kill you.
It is Minecraft, and I didn't like Minecraft either. So I imagine this is going to be a huge hit with that group of people that love that. But it's going to alienate a lot of players like myself who are. I mean, I'm not a hardcore guy. I consider myself casual or moderate player. But I'm not going to try to figure out your game. I'm just not going to do it.
Nope. I've had more fun figuring out that game because the fact that I have got to, through my second winter, surviving, and in really, 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 knock on wood, I'm afraid to say it, really good shape, I'm feeling a sense of huge accomplishment. That I have set up a pretty nice, pretty sweet little deal. I've got a couple of situations that may become perilous in the future. I have discovered little things. You have to be very sensitive to little things happening. My latest one was I went through my second winter, and we're surviving on bunnies, on more tender morsels from bunnies, and I've been murdering bunnies every night in order to do it, and then getting a pile of meatballs, savory meatballs, to keep myself alive. Well, the problem is that I did not know until I started hearing, every time I killed a bunny, I would hear that sound. I thought, all right, that's different. And I started to attach it to the bunnies being killed and started looking it up and realized that that was Krampus. And Krampus comes out when you kill too many innocent creatures. And you have to stop killing innocent creatures. So I had to survive on my pile of savory meatballs in order to get through the winter without killing a bunny. Because I need my naughtiness level to go down so Krampus doesn't come out and try and kill me. Because apparently when he comes out and destroys everything. And takes all your stuff, which would just start me back at zero. Yes, I killed Thumper. I killed Thumper all the time. I love you should have known when the little suggestion when you have your choice of whether you want to store the bunny or whether you want to drop the bunny or whether you want to murder. It says murder the bunny. Should have known that there was going to be implications to you murdering animals, and it does.
Well, good for you. See, I don't take the time to find the little man in the canoe. I just don't have that kind of time.
Yep, so. I don't blame you. But I love it. I'm
good
kicking ass on. I am so proud of myself that I've made it through my second winter. If winter came today, I could survive another winter. I am set.
You fought a long time to try to get over that hump, and
yep,
that's cool that you did that.
Nick's never even made it through a first winter.
No, because it's like, what's the point?
What's the point? The point is survival. The point is the accomplishment.
Yeah, that's not enough for me. I want to feel some type of progression.
Yep.
I'm at a level now. I'm about to go to the adventure mode. You know there is an adventure mode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never done the adventure mode. Now that I'm feeling like I've got, I'm pretty secure in my home base. It's pretty well set up for exactly what I need, and I've got tons of food that I think I'm going to actually head out to do the adventure mode. But I'm so mad at myself. I was trying to make a blow dart that will protect me, pan flute, that will protect me when these certain creatures come out that steal everything in your backpack and steal everything in your camp if they come when you're standing in your camp. And you can't kill them. They're almost impossible to kill once they've stolen your stuff. And then they leave. They jump out into the other dimension. And they say the only way you can do it is to play a pan flute and put them to sleep. And I happen to have all the hard stuff, all the difficult equipment to make the pan flute. The only thing I needed was reeds and drakes, or mandrakes. You know, the mandrakes are the little ones that scream when you pull them out.
Okay.
And I knew where one mandrake was. I hadn't picked it, but I knew where it was. So I went out and I got the reeds, and I almost died, but I made it. So I got all the reeds back, and then on the way back home, I picked up the mandrake, and I got to my camp, and I was about to build the pan flute, and I hit the wrong button, and I ate my mandrake. So I can't find another mandrake. So I'm kind of SOL. But I am going to go out and play adventure mode. So there you go. It's still incredibly gratifying to me, and it's nice because I don't feel like I have to keep checking in all the time. I can, now that I'm at the stage I'm at, I can play a few levels in a few days, like play 3 or 4 days and then let it go. Whereas before it's like once you started, you were in for a penny, you were in for a pound. You were going to be playing it half the day because you just needed to get through winter. And you were afraid what might happen if you stopped. So that's where I'm at, and I'm super happy, and I know that Goalie isn't. I warned you. I don't know why you don't listen to my warnings.
No, I know I did. I mean, you can, you read me like a Nook book.
Yep.
You do. And you said I was going to hate it, but I had already downloaded it, so I said, well, let me at least poke around with it, so I at least can say I tried it before I give up. And it was definitely missed, and it was just like, no, it's just not my type of game. It was definitely a Minecraft type of game, but worse than Minecraft, and I couldn't figure out Minecraft, so there's no. But again, that crowd who loves to discover and has the time to really get into that, and there's some gratification in figuring out the game along with playing the game, and then you get into it, and like you said, now you're on a roll, like the people that made some of the great stuff in the Minecraft game, and they shared some of the photos with us, and I was pretty impressed with some of that, but there's no way I could do that,
It's
so
not
good for everybody that likes that, but it's not my cup of tea. It's not even close to my cup of tea.
Yep.
Nope.
Nick, did you play the console edition at all yet?
Nope. I haven't turned on my PS3 in a week.
You mean PS4?
The PS4.
Really? Okay, well, we'll get into why in just a moment. But I do want to mention that in the console edition, if you played the version on Steam, it really didn't make it clear of what's the name of the guy that you play in the first character. I'm having a brain cramp.
Jim.
It's not Jim. It's like Samson. People, you should know this. Help me in the chat room. The name of the Don't Starve character, the very first one you get. I know the fire starter is Wilson. It doesn't really explain why Wilson is in this place. It's just that he's in there. In the console edition, there is opening graphics, and it does explain a little bit more about why Wilson or how Wilson ended up in the Don't Starve world. And it's kind of interesting, kind of creepy. Makes you realize Wilson's kind of implicit in his own destruction, so to speak. It's sort of his own fault. So, anyway, why have you not turned on your PlayStation 4 in a week?
Well, you were saying earlier that felt like Christmas was a long ways away. Felt like Christmas was just last week for me, because last week was my birthday, and I got
You didn't say
a couple
anything?
of gadgets.
Wait, you didn't say anything that it was your birthday on last episode? Now I find out your birthday?
Yeah.
You're such a dick.
What?
I posted some funny shit in his Facebook page because I know he doesn't check it.
Oh, boy.
It's awesome. I hope your mom doesn't read that.
Nick, happy birthday. How old are you now?
29.
Ooh, pushing 30.
30 sucked.
I'm almost,
30 sucked the
close
worst.
to having a midlife crisis, right?
Bad.
Yes. Oh, 30 was horrible. 30.
Yes. It was like depression for a few days. It was
more than that. Oh, the
You
last
don't come out of
year.
your house now, if you don't come out of your house now, forget it. When you turn 30, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no. I'm just going to say 30 is going to suck. Because it's going to be really 40 is not so hard as 30 was.
40, you've become accustomed to the
40
depression.
was cool. 40 was cool for me.
40 wasn't that cool.
30?
None of the big ones are.
because it's over. You feel like it's over at 30.
Yes, you feel like you're officially getting old. It's the first taste that you've had of your own mortality. Yeah.
You shit yourself for the first time. You're like, what the fuck was that?
What?
What? Huh? No, I'm just saying. Some people have.
Some people have that problem. Yes, no, not us. No, not us. Well, anyway, okay, so it was your birthday and you got some gadgets.
I got a 3DS.
Really?
Yep. And so I have been playing the new Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds.
Uh-huh.
Quite a bit.
And?
I've been playing that. I was playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto. I beat Grand Theft Auto 5. And
Really?
nothing to do with my birthday, but more to do with the fact that my iPod kind of finally coughed up its last breath and died on me and couldn't hold the battery, just couldn't hold the charge anymore.
It happens.
That was the motivating factor for me to finally go out and buy an iPhone.
No.
Nick has an iPhone. That I knew about.
Oh.
I FaceTimed
And-
with him. I was his first
Why
FaceTime.
does he have an iPhone? He doesn't do anything social media. That's what iPhones are for.
That's the thing. He can now.
That's
When
true,
we
I
send
can,
him
I
links, he
can.
actually can look up the links now. Before, you never knew this, but when you would send links to him for something, he couldn't look it up. He'd just go,
I
ha.
would. No, what I would do is I would text that text to my email and then click the link.
That was our Nick.
Yep.
First, he'd go outside and he'd chop some wood so he could put it into the stove so he could get some steam so he could run the generator
to power up his phone.
to power up his
Yep.
phone.
Have a little hamster wheel on it.
All right. What do you think of the iPhone?
It's pretty cool.
I told you it would change your life in ways you didn't understand how it would be changed. It would be so convenient and such a relief that you felt like you actually won.
I don't know if I go that far.
Oh man, the
I
fact
found
that
it very weird. I went from just like your regular cell phone to an iPhone, and it just was. I mean, I did have limited internet on the phone before that, but it was just weird. Like everything was touchscreen. There were no physical buttons.
Yeah. That's how I feel. It's sort of like, okay,
Swiping
this
to answer phones. It's like this
I
is
gotta
weird.
get used to this.
Yeah, it was just like so you're used to like hitting the send button, and things like that, but now you're just clicking on a contact's name to contact them and text them. It just everything's touch, and the other one was more button-y things.
Well, not just that. I have to like figure out the interface because one of the main uses for it for me was going to be like a music player and podcast player. So I kind of have to figure out, okay, how do I download podcasts? How do I put music onto this thing? How do I organize music? And that's kind of a whole other complicated issue.
But it's not really complicated. It's just messing.
It's just figuring out how to do it.
it's just different. And
Yeah.
I thank you for getting an iPhone because you have saved me personally so much time. Because you, Goalie, would send the group SMS texts to everybody, like it would be to Nick and to me about the podcast. Like, I can't be on this week, or we have to start. Can we start earlier? Can we start late? Or can we move the date? And then Nick would get the message, and I would get the message. But then when Nick would reply, he would reply to me, not to you, because he couldn't do a group SMS text message. So only one of us would get the reply. So I would see that reply on a whole different page. I'd have to see his reply and then copy it and put it into the group SMS. So I was constantly copying and pasting Nick's messages.
People have been lobbying to get him off the show for a long time because of that stuff.
Yeah. and whenever we're
listeners.
at PAX, it'll change your life at PAX. Whenever we're at PAX, that you'll be able to actually navigate stuff, look stuff up.
just the App Store, Nick, it will blow you away. You know, like I have the Battle Log app for Battlefield 4. I can log in, see what I have unlocked. I can change my loadout right from my iPhone.
Right.
It's the things you can do with
Yeah,
it.
PlayStation app.
I remember when the iPad came out, and I remember, what the heck is somebody going to use this for? It's not a computer. It doesn't do certain things. It's not. And it wasn't until all the apps come out for the iPad that it actually clicked. And I think it was all the third-party people that made the iPad work, you know, because you could watch hockey games, you could watch baseball games, you could watch Netflix. And before all that, the iPad was really useless. It had very limited what you could do until all the apps come out. Now you play games and, oh my gosh, you can do everything with these things now.
And by the way, for the chat room and for any listener that's listening right now, since Nick has a new iPhone, what are, in your opinion, the essential apps that he needs to get to put on his iPhone?
Yeah, I have a list of games that I've downloaded. I downloaded Device 6, Plague Inc., The Room, and Doodle Jump, I think.
Oh, I fucking hated Doodle Jump.
Oh, I love the hell out of it. But those are the games that I downloaded, and those are games I bought. I downloaded a couple other things to try out for free, and some of them weren't very good.
Do you have Sirius XM radio, Nick?
On the iPhone?
No, just in general?
No.
See, I have it in my truck, but I got the package where I have online as well as in my truck, and I listen right on my iPhone. So when I go on walks with the dogs, I listen to Sirius XM on the dog walk. That's pretty cool.
Yep. The Spreaker app, someone says. The Room.
Yeah.
That's right.
Candy Crush, Angry Birds.
Angry Birds, bitch.
Okay, I get Angry Birds. No, I'm not going to play Candy Crush. Fuck you.
Don't forget the iFruit app.
What's that?
That's the one that's with the Grand Theft Auto?
The GTA one.
The GTA one?
But no, see, I finished GTA. I don't have to think about it anymore.
Okay, all right.
I play cribbage on my iPhone all the time.
Really?
I love cribbage. Yeah, I just play it by myself.
There's the Steam app. Don't forget about the Steam app.
Steam app.
Let's see. Yeah, you probably are interested in Preta Yoga.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It'll just show you, yoga positions. You start it in the morning, and it'll track your yoga. Let's see. You can try Sneezies. Would you do me a favor? Try Sneezies. Because I loved the hell out of that game, and I think I might be the only person in the world who loved it. So please explain to me why it's not as good a game as I thought it was. Why? I don't understand why I did that. The Twitch app?
Me or the chat?
Huh?
Are you asking me or the chat?
No, you. Please try Sneezies. So you can tell me if it's horrible.
How do you spell that?
Sneeezies. Sneezies.
Sneeezies.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a game?
Mm-hmm. Twitch. There's the Twitch app. That's great.
Oh, really? There's a Twitch app.
Yeah.
But there's an app for everything, Nick.
Ustream, YouTube.
Yep, Ustream app, YouTube app.
Yeah, I got YouTube. Got Netflix.
Yep. The iPhone app, the Find My iPhone, very, very important. Saved my bacon more times than I'd like to admit. Find My iPhone. Essentially,
What is that?
It connects to, you put it on your phone, then you have it connected to your iTunes ID, and if you can't find your phone, you pull it up, and it will tell you where your phone is. Not generally. I mean, it'll tell you in the area. Like if it's in your house, it'll tell you it's in your house.
If you left it at work.
Oh, well, that's
if you left it at
useless.
work, no, because if it gets stolen, then you can say it's here. It's in this area. And you could at least tell the cops, hey, my iPhone was stolen and it's there. Or like in my case, I lost my phone and I couldn't find it, but I knew I had it. I knew it was somewhere, but I could not freaking find it. And I was able to look on Find My iPhone, and it was in my car, and it had fallen out of my left pocket while I was driving and had landed between the seat and the outside of the car, just in that little, like the divot where your hands go to adjust your seat. It had fallen right down there, and found it. And it was great because otherwise I would have been like, did I leave it at work? Did I leave it at home? Did I leave it at somebody's house? So, yeah, it's a good one. Tiny Tower, Flight Control, Infinity Blade.
Tiny Tower, that was one I downloaded.
Oh, you did?
I didn't play it, but I downloaded it.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Facebook's kind of nice.
I didn't download any of those.
Yeah, but you should pull up at least Facebook and Twitter. Mostly Facebook, but Twitter too, because it's just so easy to check it.
I don't even have a Twitter account.
Yeah, you do.
Wait, technically I do, I guess.
We won't give you the password, though.
I know, exactly. I'll have to make Wednesday Nick my actual Twitter account.
Infinity Blade, Tiny Tower, Flight Control, Around Me, and Urban Spoon. Yelp is also
Urban
good.
Spoon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's like a dining thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is not, that's the thing, is these apps, you don't use them every day, but they're good to have because when you're out, say at PAX, you can look shit up right there. Whereas if you download the app, you might not be able to get it because you don't have a good enough signal to do that. Carmageddon.
Yeah.
Live Cycle, especially if you know somebody else with an iPhone. That's the one that's it's sponsored by Coca-Cola, and it's like a Tron cycle where you have to go to like an open field. Don't do this in the street because you will end up getting yourself killed. But you look at your screen.
Where, like the GPS and your
yes.
Where
you run around and you essentially it's like like the live cycles in Tron where you have to run around this and you look at the screen while you're running and try and essentially play live cycle with somebody else. Yeah, live cycle.
Nice. Okay.
I have that app that map my walks, so when I go for walks, I see how long I go and things like that. So there's little helpful apps like that. Not that you go outside and stuff, but there's an app for everything that you do.
Yeah. PAX East has its own app.
Oh, that would be great because then I could stop bugging you about like, hey, where's this guy's booth?
Right, exactly. Oh my God, that's gonna be awesome.
You're just like, thank God I don't have to carry the burden, Nick.
Let's see. Other one, Songify, always a fun one. I keep my Zippo lighter on my map on there. I think that was my very first app I ever got.
Get the Vuvuzela.
You have a Vuvuzela app
for soccer games. That'd be awesome.
And unfortunately, you missed Curiosity. Yeah, don't forget to play around with iTunes U. That's also really cool. Which is
iTunes U.
Most universities, especially the higher end like universities like Yale, Stanford, Cal, Harvard, Princeton, MIT, they actually put many of their courses online with syllabus and handout information and either a podcast or actually more likely it's a video. And all of that is available through iTunes U. You can actually take a class from Harvard or Stanford, and it's on just pick a subject, pick a topic, all of them. Criminal justice, real estate, business, accounting, engineering, humanities, history, whatever. Just pick a topic. They're available on iTunes U, and you can just listen to whenever. So you can actually get smarter.
Like us.
Yeah, instead of listening to podcasts and becoming dumber, you can actually listen to a class, a course, and get smarter. And these are the best of their teachers that are doing it. Some of them will even allow you to take a series of courses and get credit for it.
Okay, that's cool.
Urban Spoon, according to Kevin Boulware, Urban Spoon is the greatest app ever. Me, where do you want to eat? Wife, I don't know. Where do you want to eat? Me, bitch, say somewhere or the Urban Spoon random picker is determining. I might have to download Urban Spoon. Because we have that conversation all the freaking time. Wait, Corey Wallace says Wolf Among Us.
Oh no!
Is that's not on the iPhone? No, I wouldn't want to play it on the iPhone. It's
Not
too
at all.
no. It's too pretty to play on the iPhone.
Yeah, like I've seen like tons of commercials for this game called Clash of Clans, and I downloaded it because it's free. Kind of interesting, kind of like reverse tower defense in a way, strategy game. But oh my god, it's small.
Yeah.
Trying to like choose where to drop things with my finger on the tiny little iPhone screen. No.
Oh, you can draw something. Yeah.
Oh, draw
Oh, yeah.
something.
I haven't played that. I can draw something.
Welcome to
now.
2 years ago.
I know. I got to go back and check. I got to poke some
Oh,
people.
Keyring. Got to get Keyring.
Is that a game?
No, that is a very incredibly useful app. All of those, all those cards in your wallet, like your CVS card and your PetSmart card and your this card and your that card and your Starbucks card, you just scan those into Keyring, and then it keeps a digital copy of those on your phone. So you go into, like, say, CVS, and you just pull up
How do
CVS.
you swipe that?
You actually you put in the number because all the little UPC codes have a number, and you say it's a Starbucks card. Here's the UPC code, or you just take a picture of it. You just take a picture of the UPC code. It reads the UPC code and then makes a digital copy of that in your phone. So then all you have to do is go CVS and then show them your phone, and they scans off your phone.
I saw some like not venture capitalist, but like some type of startup video of this thing called Coin.
Bitcoin?
That was what?
Not Bitcoin.
No, it's just this thing called Coin, and I always remembered it because it's just the name. But it's like a credit card that you can kind of program all your other credit cards into,
Right.
and then like you can kind of cycle through them to choose which one you want. So it's like you can carry, however many cards you want within this one card.
Right.
And like there's some app that you could download for your phone so that if you left this coin card somewhere and then like took 5 steps away, your phone would stop beeping. Like, hey, dude, you left your credit card.
Yeah.
Seemed interesting.
Yeah, it's a interesting idea. But then again, they've got options for a lot of that stuff, especially if you use cards like your Starbucks card, which you load with cash.
You can put your man card on that app, too.
You can put your
Really?
card.
Yeah, I know they check that all the time with you. So
I've never had one of those.
yeah, Edie has one.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I do. Well, see, the cashier gave it to me, kind of, he was in a nice mood. I had done something nice for the cup guy in front of me, so he was like, "Psst, I'll give you a man card. Just don't tell the management." Red lasers.
Hang
Another.
on to that. That'll get you places.
Nick, Netflix
Yeah.
app. And because you'd be surprised, actually, when you're sitting in a hotel room and you want to watch Netflix, if you put your headset on, you actually can watch a movie pretty well on your iPhone.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I've watched a bunch of videos already on it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, when that crazy night that Edie was drunk, twitching all night long.
Which one was that?
I went to bed. I get to bed late. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and you had just started the Twitch broadcast, and I passed out, went to bed, and I was up at 4:45, and you were still. I was like, "Holy cow, you're still twitching!" I actually drove to the hockey rink. I was sitting in the parking lot at 5:45 at the hockey rink, and I took out my iPhone and I was watching you on Twitch.
Yeah.
Finish up the broadcast.
Yep.
And I was chatting with you from my iPhone while watching you.
I've done that when you've been like playing Battlefield. Before I got Battlefield, you were playing Battlefield and you were twitching it, and I was sitting next to my dad, kind of because if you walk away from my dad, then he starts not being happy. So you kind of have to be sitting next to my dad all the time. And I was sitting there next to my dad, and he's watching television, and I'm watching you and chatting with you about Battlefield because I'd never seen it at that point.
That was like I said. That's just all the streaming stuff of the iPhone's really cool.
Skype. It's another one you got to get on the phone.
Oh.
Shazam
I
is
hadn't thought of Skype.
yeah, Skype is great because you can actually, if you have Wi-Fi around you, you can actually use Skype, especially if you have some money into Skype, as a cell phone. I've called in to, like, I think it was, I don't know if it was with you, but I think Goalie was on when I was supposed to be home to be on Married Gamers, and I was stuck in traffic. So I knew they were all on Skype, so I went on to Skype and used the Skype app because I had Wi-Fi where I was. Used the Skype app, called them, and said, "Hey, I'm not going to be there." And I was calling them from my cell phone. Shazam, also an important one.
Is that the one that recognizes music?
And then brings it up. So if you like, what is this song? It's really good. You pitch the Shazam.
Friday, gotta get down with Friday. Up, whoop, Rebecca Black.
And let's not forget the GameHounds app.
Oh,
That's true.
We have a GameHounds app. So, yeah, lots of things that you could do. And if anyone else has any suggestions of essential apps, whether they be games or just utilitarian apps or whatever, gamehounds@gmail.com. Send it to us. I will get it to Nick and make sure that he has all this stuff. Are you still there?
yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm here.
I think our for some reason we sounded like the broadcast stopped.
It's Wednesday in California. So.
No, actually, that got solved.
I started downloading a bunch of apps on the Wi-Fi, and I wondered if that.
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't.
Yeah.
Apps are small.
No, we figured out our situation.
Okay.
Our router had died.
Oh, really?
And we didn't know it. It just not died. It was dying, and it was dying slowly, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. And I was the first one to notice it because, of course, I'm the one that puts the most amount of strain on the Wi-Fi here. So Kevin got tired of buying $50 routers, and he bought the one that was off of the Wirecutter, the highest rated one off the Wirecutter, and it's awesome. Awesome!
Yeah.
That thing is got a huge range. It's super stable. It's got USB connectors in there, network USB. So if things go all to shit, we can hook up the iPad and use the iPad as our connection to the internet, which we've done before, but it's hard to kind of jerry rig it up. But with this one, you just plug it in, and if you've got two different kinds of, which at one point we did, two different kinds of internet connection, like a DSL and cable, you hook them both in, and it will share the load between the two.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's golden. It ain't cheap, though. I think it was like $160, but it's built like a tank. It's badass. So that is why I hope, assuming, I mean, it seems my ping is in the 200 range, when as before my ping was in the 20,000 range. So yeah, cool. 20,000 milliseconds. That's more than a full second by a long shot.
I got a gaming router, one of the Linksys gaming routers, I think.
Yeah, but ours are just whatever. They swear out. They get old. Little Inferno, Nick. Little Inferno.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, you've got to play Little Inferno.
I did play Little Inferno. I'm the one that told you about Little Inferno, man.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oops.
I played on PC, but yeah, I agree.
Kevin Bulware says PlayStation app is nice to have. Also allows you to purchase and have it downloaded when you get home. Especially nice on last day of a sale when you forgot to purchase something. Also nice to add friends to your PlayStation list instantly instead of having to write down gamer tag.
Yeah, the Xbox app and the PlayStation app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I like the Xbox app better, but
the Smart Glass. Yeah, I actually liked Smart Glass better than I liked the PlayStation app. I'm hoping they improve that.
Yeah, well, they just come out with it, like just threw it up there. So.
Yep.
Well, you want to move on to other games?
Yeah, you want to talk about games?
Yeah. Okay, so I've been playing The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds on my 3DS, and It's pretty cool because like I don't even have to bother with saving. I can just close the 3DS and suspend it and then open it back up and start playing. So that's neat. But I haven't played a Zelda game since Ocarina or since Majora's Mask, since like N64. So there's a lot about Zelda that I kind of never really got into. And this is making me realize that Zelda is pretty good.
Yeah. I've never played a Zelda game ever. I've played even less Zelda than I have Mario.
What I didn't expect is that like combat is relatively simple and relatively easy because it's just kind of one button, swing a sword, and attack. Mm-hmm. But the dungeons that you always go in are kind of these puzzling dungeons, and you kind of have to figure out how to get around. And so when you're trying to puzzle your way through this dungeon, that simple combat suddenly becomes much more challenging,
right?
Because you're thinking about these multiple things at once, and it becomes really fun. Like I would say it's more of a puzzle game than an adventure game. At least that's what it feels like playing. Because, but it's kind of a puzzle game set in this adventure genre. It's an adventure puzzle game, which is kind of an interesting combination that I haven't seen anywhere else. And it's kind of weird that Zelda, this old franchise kind of has this genre kind of all to itself. But it's really fun. It just kind of feels good to play, just swinging the sword and cutting down grass. Like, I understand now when people sort of nostalgically think of Zelda and cutting down grass, because it's just fun. Like the sound, the animation, just pushing the button. And I think Zelda is a great game for the 3DS because the 3D is really, really excellent in it, since you're always looking top down and there's a lot of bottomless pits in dungeons and a lot of like moving platforms and, kind of basic kind of puzzle level design things. That means there's always like a huge drop that you're looking down. So the 3D is always really noticeable and always really it feels important, to kind of give you this sense of scale. It doesn't feel cheap or unnecessary. Mm-hmm. That's always cool. And yeah, I'm just having a hell of a fun time playing Zelda. It's a fun game, kind of just that gets to that pure fun of games. The story, yeah, whatever. I'm saving the kingdom, but it's just fun. So I've kind of gotten into the habit of like playing it for an hour every night, since I can just pop open 3DS and then pop it closed. And I've been doing that after like longer rounds of GTAing.
Do you think that would be a game that Goalie would like?
I think so. It's kind of open. Like they do give you instructions, like you know how to swing a sword, and how to use your items and things like that. And then I've gotten to a point where like it's kind of this open world, and they've said, okay, go to these 2 places, and that's it. Even now, one of the dungeons is pretty tough. Like, it is, like I said, it feels very much like a puzzle game. And so there are times when, I'm walking around this dungeon thinking, okay, there's something that I've missed here. There's some door and some key that I haven't seen. But it's kind of nice because, like, there's a process to all the dungeons where at first when you get into it, there's always a map on the bottom of the screen because, it's got 2 screens. So that's nice because you can always kind of tell where you are in relation to everything else. And then as you play through and kind of as you find treasure chests, one of the items you'll eventually find is this compass, which reveals all the treasure chests on the map. so you can tell if you've missed anything. So that's helpful, because if you suddenly get in a situation where, there's a locked door and you can't get past it, you can look at the map and see, okay, there's a treasure chest in this room. That's probably the key. I just have to figure out how to get to it. And it's very well designed in that each room is kind of a puzzle onto itself. You're not going to go all the way to one end of the dungeon and flip a switch and then go all the way back to the other end. And that's where, the treasure chest is going to open. Like, everything is contained in one room. So that's nice because, it keeps things very nice and self-contained. So I think you might enjoy it, because it's just, I'm surprised at just kind of how well designed it is on kind of a fundamental level.
I know that I should have played a Zelda game. I need to play a Zelda game to make me a good gamer. But at the same time, it's like I feel I will fall down a very large black hole if I start playing Zelda games now. Because I can see that if everyone in the world is saying how awesome Zelda games are, and oh my god, if freaking Robin Williams names his daughter Zelda, that says how addictive these games are. And I know there's a lot of them.
That's the thing. I don't think it's addictive. I think it's just good and it's just fun. Like,
I played one when I had my Wii. I think I downloaded one from the store and played. It was like $5. I played. It was just okay. It maybe because it was an older one and it was more of a Nintendo style game. It just was okay.
Yeah.
Just okay. I mean, I'm hoping, like Nick was saying, he can pick up and play and close the lid and be done with it and come back. I'm hoping that Elder Scrolls will itch that scratch for me.
Just that thing that you want to play, just, an hour a day.
Get
into it.
I don't know if it will, but, part of me really wants to sit down, pop on the PlayStation, jump into Elder Scrolls, see who's on, and go do a couple little things. Go cut wood for my fire, go out into the woods, maybe go down to a dungeon real quick, and then, okay, well, I'm done for the day. Just be that open where you can just kind of just pick up and do little things like you were saying, cutting grass or whatever it is, or, and then maybe on the weekend you get the gang together and it's okay, let's go storm the castle. I'm hoping it does that for me. It may not. I won't know till we get it, but that's what I'm hoping, is that Elder Scrolls will be that itch, that scratch.
So anything else that you played?
Yes, I have played probably the biggest game to come out this month, and I actually beat it, but that's okay. I played Broken Age.
And?
I loved it.
Really?
I loved the hell out of it. More than I thought I would.
That says a lot. You were fairly positive about it before you started it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I wanted to give them money because, I funded it. Because, hey, Tim Schafer making an adventure game. Okay, cool.
Yep.
It doesn't play like Monkey Island, though, in that it's really easy in terms of like the puzzles and the things you do. Like, there is no push. How like with old adventure games you'd go push and then click on something, or pick up and then click on something, or pull and click on something. There's none of that. You just click on stuff, and if you can pick it up, you pick it up, and you have an inventory, and you kind of drag items from your inventory onto something, and if you can use it, okay, good. Like, it's really simple, but that makes it fun because, God, it is whimsical as hell. Oh my God. It's just it's gorgeous looking. Like, I wasn't even I've seen videos of it, but I wasn't quite expecting to kind of fall in love with the style as much as I did. But it's just really beautiful. It's almost like, the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer claymation shows, or any type of claymation stop motion, it kind of has a kind of a jerky animation. It kind of looks like that, but 2D and like really detailed 2D. So it's kind of this mix of stop motion 2D, and it's all very painterly, almost like watercolored kind of things come to life. And the voice acting across the board is exceptional.
Good. Yay! Yay, Chris Brown.
Absolutely.
I
it is.
know the person who is the voice acting director of his stuff. Yeah. She's really good.
Amazing. Like I just wanted to sit and talk to people because, and again, the characters, like all the characters you talk to are fascinating in their own weird, quirky way. To the point where it's just, and that's why, even though I finished it, and I played it for about 3.5 to 4 hours for this episode, so I guess it's fairly short, and that'll probably anger a lot of people. But I feel like the density of it, and the fact that I was really loving it for all that time makes up for it. I'd rather play a short, great game than a long, okay game.
Right.
But yeah, like I like the fact that the puzzles were pretty easy and that it wasn't a difficult adventure game because so much of the whimsy is just, going around these weird places, talking to these funny people, and just getting a sense of the world. And there is an interesting story at the core of it, and it ends like it does a good job playing with your expectations of how these two characters intersect, and then at the end it ends on this cliffhanger that's actually really exciting and interesting. And like I was kind of shocked, and I'm like, I really want to know what happens next because it's an interesting world and the characters are just so damn good. I want to know what happens to them. Like so much of that game rides on the writing and the acting and the style. And it's the good thing, it's funny too. Like it's really, really funny. So that was a donation well spent. That's the first game that kind of kickstarted the whole Kickstarter craze. I feel like my money was well spent.
Good.
Yeah.
And I just realized that I forgot I was a backer on that, so I have to go get my copy. Oh yeah, I gave it $100.
Okay. The one problem though, like redeeming a Steam code was kind of a pain because you do it through the Humble store, like the Humble Bundle store, and you have to log into Steam through like a browser. And since I always have Steam automatically log in from the application client, I didn't remember my goddamn password.
Oh, okay.
And so I was just like sitting at that password screen for 10 minutes typing in all these random things. None of them worked. So I was like, fine, I'll change my password. And that's kind of an ordeal too, is changing a password on Steam. So finally I got it and I was like, fucking God, that's Steam and passwords. Ugh. I hate the password game.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I totally. In fact, here it is. Update number 33, Broken Age review embargo.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
And I did watch the credits. I watched them twice in order to find my name, and I'm there.
Good. I have to go look and see my own name. So, all right. Well, then I'm glad. That makes me happy that this is as good as it thinks it is. Very happy. Goalie, did you play any games?
Yeah. I actually went outside the box, so to speak, this weekend. I ended up over a friend's house for dinner one night, and he was telling me he just got a PS4. So we were talking video games, and he goes, "I'm playing my PS3, and I'm playing Metro Last Light, and I'm stuck, and I've been stuck for days." So we pulled out his PS3, and he says, "I know exactly what part you're on." Did you guys play Metro last night?
No, I did not.
No.
Is that the first one or the second one?
Second one.
Okay, yeah, I played that one.
The first one I didn't finish because I got so frustrated. There was one part you're in Russia, and you're in the sewers of Russia, or underground in the train system, I should say. It's the metro system. And if you go above ground, you need a gas mask. Well, you're above ground. You got the gas mask is timed. If you get attacked, the gas mask cracked. You can't see stuff. You start sweating, and you don't know where to go. So the first one, I ended up just quitting because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I ran out of time, didn't have enough air, blah, 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 blah. The second one, they gave you more air, and there was more air canisters. So I never ran out of air in the first one, for the most part. So, I mean, the second one. So the last light was the better of the two, I believe. So I finished it. And you got to this one part where you had to go outside with the gas mask and get gas and then put it in the generator and call something over to bring you to the next part of the map. Well, of course, while this thing is bringing over the ferry, so to speak, you have to fight all these animals. So I was like, let me see if I can get you through it. So I got through that part for him. So he was all happy. So now he can continue with Metro Last Light, which was
I know that part that you're talking about.
And I did too. As soon as he said he was stuck, I said, I know exactly where you are. And I guess if the monsters get over to the generator, they shut it off on you. Because I went over, I hit the button to start it, and then I just kind of ran around in a circle and shot him. And then I went back. I go, well, why isn't this thing here yet? Well, the generator had stopped. To turn it on again. So I got him through that part. But anyway, he goes, you got to check out this game called The Last of Us. And I said, I've heard so much about it. I said, pop it in. So we popped it in. And boy, it was a long intro. You didn't really do much at all in the intro. A lot of these games are doing that. It's a good 10 or 15 minutes before you do anything. By the time you put in a game and it loads and does what it's got to do and runs through the cutscenes and the intros, it's a long time.
Well, no, you're playing during that intro. Mm-hmm. It's just that you're not playing the game itself. You're mostly just running. You're
just walking around, so to speak, just to make it feel like you're playing. So me and Mrs. Goalie, we're kind of taking turns playing it, and we played like 5 or 10 minutes of it, and she's like, "Wow, this is a game I think I would really like." She goes, "Except I can't use this controller." I did too. I said, "I hate the PlayStation 3, even the PlayStation 2 controller. I did not like at all." So she goes, "Is this coming to PS4?" I says, "With that new PlayStation Now service, I think we will be able to play this on PlayStation 4." So she likes it. I liked it. So when that does become available on that PlayStation Now network, I will be playing Last of Us finally, which is one of the reasons I did pick up the PS4 was for some of these games. So I did touch on The Last of Us a little bit, and boy, just seeing that the first few parts, it looks good. It looks real good. So I can't wait to play that. But then continuing on with the PlayStation Now feel, and speaking of games, I actually fired up my OnLive account.
Wow.
You say, why? Well, I had some very frustrating Battlefield 4 rounds to a point where, you get in the jet, right? And I can't dogfight anybody. So if a jet gets on my ass, I'm dead. So the only thing I can do is turn my jet around and fly back to my base and let my guys shoot him down. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I can go back and I can, do my jet work. But if a jet gets behind you, you're dead. There's nothing you can do. But unfortunately, several games I played in, when the AA gun, it doesn't mean anti-aircraft. It means alcoholic asshole. So they use the AA gun to drive around the map and shoot soldiers instead of sitting at the base taking down the jets that I'm bringing in. I'm spoon. It's like, here comes the airplane. Here's the spoon with the baby food in it. All you got to do is shoot them down. I'm bringing them into you. Hello. I got a drunk hot chick from the bar that's horny. She wants you. Here, just take her. Just take her. It's an easy kill for you.
It happens. Sometimes you get that.
Oh, and these guys just don't shoot down the jet. I'm just like, you got to be shitting me. And so I ran into so many shitty battlefields. Then I get up in the jet, and their anti-aircraft gun takes down the gunship in 5 seconds. So their team is playing it correctly because my jet
Right.
and my gunship are getting torn apart by the AA gun, and my guy's over here like, I don't know if he's looking at the Playboy magazines or what, but he's sitting in the thing and just not doing anything. So but I want to get into a gunship now. On Live had a great gunship game. It was just kind of from above shooting down. I was like, I would so buy that and play that right now. I'm itching to play a gunship game because there's none to be had anywhere.
Right.
Except for the iPad, the zombie one, which is okay. So I was like, if OnLive has this and it's like $3 or $4 or $5, I will buy it and I will play it. And I get on there and boy, I don't know if I've been on there in about a year. It's exactly the same as it was, which is not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. It's like all the games are the same. Everything is just exactly what it was from 12 months ago. Mm-hmm. They're still in business. It still works, but they're not going anywhere. They're just kind of it's like Game Room for the Xbox 360. It might have been there for a while, but they're probably trying to phase it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I found the gunship game, but it was part of the Play Pack.
Oh.
It's $10 a month, and there's like 300 games you can play or whatever it is. But
Right.
it's like,
yeah, no.
I kind of wanted just to buy it, play it when I wanted to for a few bucks because that's the only place I can find this game.
That's the downside of these streaming things. And I was talking to Creation Chaos last night, and he said that the PlayStation Now is going to be a subscription service. So,
but that would mean, I would imagine that if it's a subscription service, that it would have to include some games to play. In other words,
but probably not all. Then not any of the good games. You're going to be playing a rental for that. They call it's a subscription rental service, which means you have to subscribe. Like, sort of. Actually, no, not like Netflix. Like it's unfortunately, it sounds like they may be double dipping. Like you're going to have to pay to subscribe to this, and then you're going to have to pay to rent it.
I guess it all depends on the pricing of it all, because if they're telling me it's going to be $10, $15, $20 a month for PlayStation Now, and I got to pay.
If they say $20 a month, they're dead in the water.
Yeah, I mean it's like
DOA.
They need to include some games in this PlayStation Now service. Yeah. I mean, not that they're all going to be free, but I mean, I don't mind renting Last of Us to give it a whirl for a week or two, or a few days or whatever it is. But I'm certainly not going to pay $5, $10, $15, $20 a month for a service, and then another $5, $10 to $20.
It might be $5 a month for the subscription, and maybe like $3 for the rental. $3 a week.
Wait, if you got the subscription, you shouldn't have.
That's what I mean. They're gonna. I think that. But see, the fact that it's called a rental service, and Chaos says, and he's usually pretty correct about this stuff. He says it's subscription. Tells me that it possibly they could be double dipping.
But that's like if Netflix charges you $7.99 a month, and then they say, well, if you want to watch a new movie, it's going to be another $4.
Right. It'll be another $3 if you want to watch House of Cards.
It would be in trouble at that point, because there's only so many people that are going to pay that double dip. Yeah. Unless they had a fantastic catalog.
But this is games. They do have a fantastic catalog.
No, I mean this PlayStation Now. If they come out and they have all these unbelievable games, it's like, well, for $5 or $10 a month, you have access to all these games, and then the extra ones are extra, maybe. Mm-hmm. But if it's just, I got to see how it rolls out.
Kevin Bulware said, "Does anyone?"
They would double dip like that. I could believe that the subscription service will have, a select number of games in it, and that some games won't be included in the subscription and could only be rental.
That's what I'm thinking too. But at the same point,
they're not going to double dip.
Yeah, like with the Play Pack with On Live, there might be a couple hundred games that you can actually play, and some are not bad. There are actually, when I went through that, there was probably 30 games that I thought were pretty good. I mean, Hitman was on that list. There was a few other decent games on that On Live Play Pack for $10 a month. Okay, so they gave you a ton of games, and they were adding games to it all the time. I played it all the time. Mm-hmm. But they, like the newer games, like say they had a new basketball game or a new shooter game or something like that, a Homefront or whatever. If it wasn't included in the Play Pack and you had to either buy it or rent it, you could do that outside the Play Pack.
Right.
So you didn't have to. If you just wanted to go on live and just buy one game and pay whatever it was, if you could buy it or rent it, that's all you did. There was no subscription if you just wanted to go for one particular game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping they kind of use that model. Mm-hmm. And as far as Guns of Icarus, that's another one of those I'm really waiting for. Octodad, that's been pushed back.
Right.
Waiting for that. There's so many things that are coming out shortly or within the next few months for PS4 and Xbox One at some point, to be fair too. So
I know in February the free game for PS4 is going to be Outlast, which is a really cool horror game.
Now that Edie was that me and you saw back in the booth.
Yes.
Oh, we were pressed in that dark, tight booth.
Yes, we were. Ew. Was that? I don't remember too much of the game. Awkward.
No, but I remember I liked it and you didn't.
I did not like it. But then again, I was also rushed and feeling like I needed to get, I had a limited amount of time in this booth. You were playing it. I was playing it. You couldn't figure out what to do. I would probably feel differently if I was sitting on my couch and I had lots of time and the point was to figure stuff out. Like Don't Starve. If I had been thrown onto Don't Starve at PAX and I had 5 minutes and they were just fitting me in so that I could see this game, that would be one thing. I probably would hate that game. But the fact that I could sit on my couch and enjoy myself as I figure out what the fuck is going on, then I'm not so critical of it.
But I think the other thing was too the guy, was it Red Barrel that put out that one there?
Yeah, that thing.
Weren't they like real jerks to us? They wouldn't honor our appointments, and they were just like, "Yeah, well, we're kind of busy now."
Well, unfortunately, they were very enthusiastic about speaking with us before they got to PAX, and they got so much buzz. And then once they got to PAX, and there was so much buzz from all the big ones, the big ones just walked in and said, "Oh yes, I know we had an appointment with you, but yeah, you see, I have to understand. There's somebody more important who wants your slot." No, so we gave it to them.
It wasn't even that. They actually. They pushed us aside just for regular people. They're like, well, you can get in line. It's like, well, no, we
have an appointment.
We know. Well, you can get in line.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they actually did say come back in like 15 minutes, and then we'll put you to the front of the line at one point. But it was
over several days. It was like over several days, and we just pestered them until they felt guilty enough after shoving us aside that they did it. But anyway, it was an all over. It was just a bad experience. So I'm willing to give Outlast a much better play when it's on. I can enjoy myself through the process.
Yeah, because when we come out of there, I remember I was like, "Oh, this is really cool, a nice little horror game." And you were like, "Yeah." So you were mad, but I think you were mad at the whole experience. Yeah, I kind of liked it, and boy, coming free,
I'll take it for free.
The fact that it's free. It's like, hey, why the hell not?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. It's too late to hit news because we've gone till 11:30. Stupid fucking your iPhone. I hate your iPhone, man. It just ate my podcast. Fucker.
I can still screw you over.
Hate your goddamn. Have you named it yet?
Have I what?
Named it.
No, how do you do that?
No, you just give it a name. Have you told Siri to call you something different than Nick?
I haven't talked to Siri.
You haven't talked to Siri?
I don't know. Is Siri on?
Hold the button down.
What button?
The center button, the one with the square on it. Just hold it down until it goes boop boop and go, "Hi Siri."
Hi Siri. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can tell it to call you anything you want. Mine calls me Shepherd Commander.
Yeah, that was cool.
How do you change that?
Call me Shepherd. Siri, call me Shepherd Commander. Okay, I'll call you Shepherd Commander.
Really? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And
Gully, call me. Sorry. Siri, call me. Gully has a stinky butt.
I don't know who you are, but but you can tell me. In Siri settings, tap on my info and then choose yourself from your contacts.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
It used to be you could just say it. It's obviously changed how they do it, but it used to be you could just say it. Call me Shepard. I told her, call me Shepard Commander. And she's like, okay, from now on, I will call you Shepard Commander. Oh, Nick, hold down the center button and say, find porn. Kevin Boulware suggested.
No, I think I'll do that later.
Do that in private.
We'll do that on Happy Endings.
Exactly.
That's what Happy Endings is for.
Yeah, we'll take it over to Happy Endings, and then we'll start making it, Nick start looking for porn.
What we should do in Happy Endings is stream just the audio of the porn that Nick finds.
No, come on. Just because we call it Happy Endings doesn't mean it has to be a true happy ending. All right, well, we've got tons of... We didn't even touch the news. There's a ton of news going on this week. It's going to be...
Not all of it good.
Not all of it good. Some of it good. Actually, I found a whole lot more while I was listening to you guys. Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of good news. Some of it not so good. Some of it's just very interesting, and we're going to be totally catty about it. So we're going to take that over to Happy Endings in about a half hour. So let's... I have to move the news sounder up because we're not doing news anymore because we suck. This is not a good show. See, we don't do as good a show when we don't... when we do it live, I think.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we do.
All right, well, let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 245, recorded on Wednesday, January 15th, 2014. I've been Edie Sellers, and with me has been Holy Goalie Nick DiNicola and his brand new iPhone. Siri. If you would like to get a hold of us, you need to call or you need to email us at gamehounds@gmail.com or go to our website, gamehounds.net. You can call us. There is a phone number. It will take text and voicemail, so go ahead and use it sometime. The number is...
Yeah, that text is an app on my iPhone. Hint, hint, Nick. That number is 304-300-9889.
And also, don't forget that we do Happy Endings right after this show. It is a live show, even though we did this one live. We're going to be taking the news over there. You can find us at Spreaker.com, /the GameHounds. And don't forget our Facebook page. Piss Boy is a rock star as far as putting up news as it happens. So if you want to keep in touch with news at all times, sign up for and like our Facebook page. That's Facebook.com /the GameHounds. All right, everyone. We will... Corey Wallace says, open up the Maps app and ask for directions from Japan to China. I'll do that. Actually, I'm going to do that right now.
I'm going to have the flights in North Korea.
All right. We'll
We'll
talk to you in about a half hour over at Happy Ending. See you later, everyone.
Siri, call me.